Well, hey everyone, it's time to plant this urn. We have already skipped the part where I dug out all the old soil in it because it had been a few years, I think, and added in new, which is kind of a big job. And also we've skipped the part where I've lost my gardening gloves and can't find them, so I guess I'm just gonna have to do this one barehanded. Like almost every container I make, I feel like I'm about to jam a lot of plants into this pot. And kind of one of the main parts of it, I really don't have any experience with, so I feel like it's a bit of a gamble. But aren't they all a little bit? And I'm telling myself that if something goes wrong, I can just hope that I can find some plants later and redo it later. So the centerpiece here is actually an old friend that I haven't used for ages. So this is Eupatorium elegant feather. It's actually, Eupatorium is part of the Joe Pye weed family. Clearly it's a big family. This is very little in common with that, except that it does like water. And this is 3 of them. I bought them all in little 4-inch pots for like $5 or something each. And I've been growing them here to get some height on them before they went in here. What's really funny about this is that I first discovered elegant feather, gosh, years ago. Mr. Much More Patient's old boss had a party and there was a bunch of elegant feather growing. So I talked to the landscaper there and found out what it was. And at that time I had to have him get it for me because you could not find this stuff anywhere. And then lo and behold, all of a sudden this year, elegant feather starts showing up in garden centers again. And what's funny about this is that sometimes I will Google a plant to see what other plants have been used in combination with it because it helps spark some ideas. I almost never do exactly what's been done, but it tells me like, oh, that needs bold foliage or that needs something. And unfortunately in this case, I ended up at my own blog. From 2016 is the last time I used elegant feather. And I will say those containers were not particularly inspirational. And I think the bigger, actually one of them was right here in this spot, although this used to be a skinny little small urn in this spot. And part of the reason I think those containers were not successful is that I used 1 elegant feather and it was kind of an odd spire. By grouping 3, I'm hoping we take care of that problem. There are some beautiful examples of elegant feather containers on the internet. Deborah Silver, who's very inspirational container planter, she has had some where it looks like she must use about 6 of them in the middle of an absolutely enormous pot. And then she just rings them with like one other thing or a couple other things. So long story short, elegant feathers going in the middle of this pot. And I don't actually know how these are gonna come out. So I'm gonna have to kind of tip this guy upside down here. All right, well, I'm actually shocked. Look at this, they've all rooted together. They have not been in there that long. Did not expect that to happen. I'm quite shocked by that, actually. Holy smokes, okay. Someone tell me if that's in the center, because I can't tell from here. The next thing we have here is Fairytrail Green Bride. This is this new-ish cascading hydrangea from Proven Winners, and they were nice enough to send me a few. And so we're gonna give them a try here. And this is the plant that is a real, you know, an unknown for me. I've obviously never grown it. And my concern is that I hope it keeps performing all summer. Otherwise it's not like, you know, optimal in terms of a container plant. Oh yeah, that'll fit in there just perfect. Jeez Louise, Erin. Goodness gracious, that is seriously encroach. Oh my gosh, it's actually, there we go. Got encroachment there. I found my gloves. They're in my back pocket. Okay. Whew. Well, that looks quite silly right now from the front, but we have some plants to the rescue here. So this needs bold foliage, in my opinion. Bold, highly contrasting foliage. So we're gonna put some Persian Shield here, and I have 3 of them. And this should, these Persian Shield gets really quite big. So one of those is gonna go smack dab in the middle here. And then I have 2 more, and we're gonna flank those, kind of do a triangle sort of thing. And you won't see the ones from the front where you are viewing it from right now, although this container is viewed from all sides to a certain extent. So you won't probably see this as I put these in, but when this grows in, this will absolutely be seen above that hydrangea. Now this is the part where I don't exactly know where this is gonna go. I have 3 or 4 other plants that I've considered for this spot. Well, the first is this nice little Torenia that's here. I also have this. This is the green version of Silver Falls Dichondra. This is just the green one. I think they call it Emerald Falls or something, which is a really nice trailer. Now, I don't want to get too traily on this pot because I do like to see it. I don't like it when it blends in with the plants around it, so this just looks like it's part of the garden. I want it to be seen as a container. Then I also have some Violet Night Lobularia, and this couldn't look worse. I almost lost these plants after they came. They were really well watered when they came, and then it got very cold, and boy did they get grumpy about that. But Lobularia is pretty good about growing back from bad things. And my thought was to put 2 of those kind of right here, like, so we get a really big mound there. I can do the same on the back, obviously. And then perhaps the Torenia in front of that. Now, the other plant that I thought about putting in here is some Diamond Frost Euphorbia to help bring some white in here, but I think we've got too many plants already, and that seems like the most obvious one to eliminate from this container. I have not grown Torenia a lot, but this year I have it in at least 3 other pots. Now, I have recently hooked this garden up to drip, well, kind of drip. I've put drip into the garden, but it's not automatic drip. It's drip that I will have to connect the hose for. And I could certainly run a line up to this container to water it if I want to. I could certainly hide it, but I wouldn't go up through the hole, obviously. But I could hide it behind in the viburnum behind here. I'm not positive if, I don't know if that's a big help, because I don't know how often I'm actually going to be hooking the hose up here. I really did that as a method in case we get a droughty summer to handle that. So I don't know. I mean, mostly what I do is I tiptoe through the tulips or bring the hose around from the back to water this container. I'm going to say this is one of the, well, I think I say this about every container I plant. This container needs to grow in to look like anything, because the unbalance of the ears sticking out is completely obnoxious. I have faith. Let's hope you do too. This right here, Persian Shield, is the key to making any of this work. We need this big, bold foliage here. This will get nice and tall. This will, play off of this. We need these guys to keep blooming. Everyone, cross your fingers. One more container in the books for this year. You never know, we could be revisiting this one midsummer to do something else. But I know the Elegant Feather is pretty reliable. The other thing with Elegant Feather is it will let you know when it wants water, because it will get real droopy and it recovers like in no time at all. But it's probably a good Probably a good indicator plant in a container whether you need to water or not, because it will tell you. All right, there we go. Thank you for watching. It's another kind of nutty idea, but I really like this plant. I like the idea of a cascading hydrangea, and so why not do it here? Have a great day in your garden. See you, everybody.